Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So students, in the previous class we have started with the new chapter, and the chapter already we had discussed, that is the how to organism reproduce. And in this chapter students, we will going to see that what are the different things, what are the different types of reproduction is there, including the sexual and asexual reproduction. And in this one students, till date, we have studied about that. What is the importance of reproduction? Why reproduction is important, as well as we have also understood that what will happen if the reproduction does not occur, and how the reproduction will is the cause of the variation. How it is important for giving a method by which they are able to adapt according to the worst situation. If the situation is not suitable for them, it is the variation only that will help them to survive. So how the reproduction is important for the survival. So as we know that in case of a life process, when we have studied about the in the chapter life process, we have seen that there are different systems are there students, including the digestive system or that of the circulatory system or respiratory system. Similarly, a very important system is the reproductive system also, because that will that ensure the that ensures the movement of the object from an one person from the sorry that ensures that continuity of the generation or continuity of the species. So for the continuity of the species, reproduction process is really important. Till that we have studied about the importance of variation. Now let us see that what are the mode of reproduction used by an organism. Actually the different mode is what that is a sexual reproduction as well as that of the asexual reproduction students. There are organisms which used to reproduce asexually, and there are which used to reproduce sexually. We are knowing about that in case of asexual reproduction students, that will include only one parent. Only one parent is involved, that is called as a asexual reproduction. While sexual, it will include the two parents, and the gamete cells are there, fusion of the gamete cell and formation of a zygote is involved here. We are already knowing about the sexual reproduction in the plants. Now before we go further, let us try to understand that how the asexual reproduction take place in the plant student. Yes, there are the asexual method of reproduction in case of the plant. Many plants are there like root, stem or leaves. They develop into new plant under an appropriate condition, and in most animal or the plant that is used indeed for the mode of reproduction. This property of a vegetative propagation, it is used in it is used in different kind of a method to obtain the parts of the old plant with the help of any reproductive organ. So we can say here that vegetative propagation is what? It is an asexual method of reproduction, and the reproduction by vegetative propagation, it occurs only in the plant. Remember that this kind of a method, this kind of a reproduction occurs only in the plant itself. Okay. So see student, here it is written that there are many plants in which root, stem and leaves develop into new plant under appropriate condition, and like that of the animal, plant also used this mode. Basically it is this mode of reproduction is only for the plants, only the plant use such a mode of a reproduction only. What happened in the vegetative propagation student? In vegetative propagation, new plants are obtained. Obviously if I am saying that this is what is the kind of a reproduction, maybe it's a asexual reproduction, but it is what? It's a kind of a reproduction in which new plants are obtained from the part of the old plant. Okay, from the part of the old plant, if we are getting a new plant without the help of any kind of a reproductive organ. See, in case of a plant, what is the reproductive organ student? It is that of the flower. The parts of the flower, they are responsible for the reproduction. You know that the male and the female part is present in the flower only. So the reproductive part of the plant is the flower. But here, instead of using that, we use a stem, we use a root, we use leaves. So with the help of these parts, if we are obtaining a new plant, then such kind of a propagation, such kind of a method, we will call it as a vegetative propagation. So it is what? It is a asexual method by which the new plant has been generated. Different properties of the vegetative propagation is used here, students. If we talk about the vegetative propagation, it usually involves the growth and the development of one or more buds which is present on the old part of the plant to form new plant. And these buds are in the it was in the inactive state in the old part, but when provided with the suitable condition, then these buds grow to form a new plant. Vegetative propagation is what? See, here it is written that the property of the vegetative propagation is used in methods such as layering, grafting to grow many plants like sugarcane, roses, grapes for agriculture purpose. Plant raised by vegetative propagation can be a flower and fruit earlier than those produced from the seed, and such method also make possible the propagation of plants such as banana, orange, rose, jasmine that have lost the capacity to produce seeds. Another advantage of the vegetative propagation is that all the plants produced are genetically similar enough to parent plant to have all its characteristics. See, here, what is the importance, what is the good thing about that of the vegetative propagation, students? So, basically in the vegetative propagation, this is what in this method we can do that method with the process like layering and grafting that we will going to discuss later on in the same chapter. So layering and grafting are the different method by which we can produce the new plant from the old part of the plant. Okay, so basically plants like sugar cane is there, or roses are there, or grapes are there. These all are what? These all are used for agriculture purpose. Now the plants which is raised by the vegetative propagation, they can be a flower, they can be a fruits, and these fruits are what? These are earlier than those produced from the seeds itself. Okay, so we can say here that by the process of the vegetative propagation, what happened in the how the formation of the seed occurs, student? It occurs through the sexual reproduction, through the formation of a zygote. We knew that when the pollen grain, it fuses with that of the pollen grain consisting of the male gamete, when it fuses with the ovule consisting of the female gamete, then the formation of a zygote occur, and due to which there is a formation of the formation of a seed also occur. Okay, the zygote will get converted to embryo, and that is the seed only, and this seed will help in the growth of a new plant, because as it will germinate, then the shoot or the root of the plant will come out, right? So here the seeds when the seeds get developed into a new plant, then the flower and the fruits will come here. But in case of a vegetative propagation, the plants which is raised by the vegetative propagation, it also be a flower, it also be a fruits, and these fruits are what? They came to the plant earlier than those produced by the seeds. It means the plants which grow through that of the seeds, they the flower and the fruits they appear later in it, and while in case of a vegetative propagation, they appear early. And such methods, it is also possible in case of the propagation of plants such as banana, orange, rose, jasmine that have lost the capacity to produce seeds. See, this is important for many plants. See, many plants are there who is not able to produce seeds. Okay, if you look at the banana, if you look at the rose, how rose is or jasmine, how rose is planted, student, with the stem only. So they have lose the capacity of producing that of the seeds, and due to which the uh, we can say due to which the it is this process of the vegetative propagation is really important or good for them. Okay, so it is because of this process, it is because of this asexual reproduction shown by the plant, which will help these plants to grow and to produce flower and that of the fruits. There is an another advantage of that of the vegetative propagation, and that is all the plant which is produced with this process, with the process of vegetative propagation, they are similar, and they are similar enough to the parent to have the all of its own characteristic. Basically the vegetative propagation is what, it's a kind of a asexual reproduction, and we know that in case of a asexual reproduction, the kind of a object formed, it is what, it is genetically similar to their parents, right? It does not mean that in case of a sexual reproduction they are not similar, they are similar, but they are not exact that of the parent, right? There is some differences also, but here they are what, they are similar, very much similar enough to the parent, and thus they used to carry all the characteristic of their parent, student. Okay, this is both, this is we can say that what are the benefits of the vegetative propagation, how it is good for many plants. Now here is an activity, student. Take a potato, observe its surface. Can notches be seen? Cut the potato into small pieces such that some pieces contain notch or bud and some do not. Now what is a notch, student? I'll show you with the help of a diagram, but till that you just try to understand what is there in the activity. See, here we have to take a potato and we have to see the surface of the potato. When you look at the surface of the potato, you will find that the notches are there. Notches are board, that is those portion from where the stem starts coming out. Okay, you will find in potato there is a small depression in the potato that will is called as a notches only. Similarly, if we now see, we have taken potatoes, a few potatoes, and which consisting of an notches. Now what we will do, we will cut the potato, we will going to cut the potato into small pieces, and we will cut it in such a way that some of the piece consisting of the notches and the other do not. Actually this notches is also called as bud. Okay, so some of them consisting of the bud and other do not. Now spread some cotton on a tray and wet it. Place the potato piece on this cotton. Note where the piece with the bud are placed. Remember, now what we will do, we will going to spread cotton on a tray and we will make the cotton to wet. We will wet the cotton. Now what we will do, we will place the pieces of the potato on this cotton, and we must remember that where is the bud, where is the pieces which is having notch or which is having bud in it. Now observe changes taking place in these potato pieces over the next few days. Make sure the cotton is kept moist, and which of the potato piece that give rise to fresh green shoot and root. Here it is said that okay, now we will going to keep the potato pieces, piece of the potato on the cotton, and we will going to see that where the buds are placed, and afterward by placing that we will also look at the piece of the potato which consisting of the bud in it, and what kind of a difference that you will find. We will find that the green shoots and the roots start coming out from the piece of the potato which is having the bud in it, okay, which consisting of a bud in it. See here student, this is the potato and this is the notches which what I am talking about. This is what student, these are the notches which is present at the potato. So when you cut the potato in such a way that one piece consisting of the nacho and other piece do not consisting of the nacho. See, suppose if I have cut it like that, so this portion does not consisting of the notches in it and the other one consisting of a bud in it. These all are what? These all are the bud only. So if we cut it in such a way that it consisting of a bud, the other portion do not, and when we will keep it there where in that of the to that of the cotton pieces, what we will found, this is what student, these are the bud only, this is the potato tuber only. So we will find that the root or the root as well as the shoot start coming out of it. So this happens because the bud are what, these are responsible for the movement of the movement of the root and the shoot. So we can say that the potato is having the capability that it can give rise to the root and shoot, even though it is not a seed, but it can give rise to the root and shoot from its part. And yes, for that the lateral bud must be there, the bud must be present there, because from the bud only the plant will came out. Okay. So this is the potato tuber students, through which the root and the shoot of the plant it came out. Okay, this is that of the potato tuber students. Now if we talk about the bryophyllum, so in case of a bryophyllum, what happened, as you can see here student, this is what, this is a picture of a bryophyllum plant. The bryophyllum plants, the buds are present on the stems as well as on the leaves. So you can see here, these are what student, these are the buds which are present on the leaves of the plant of the bryophyllum. Okay, these are the leaves are there students. Okay, and these leaves, they are these buds which is present on the edges of the leaves, they are having the capability that they can grow. What happen, these buds will fall down, will get detached, and finally the piece of the it will grow into a new bryophyllum plant. So bryophyllum plant, they can be reproduced by the vegetative propagation by using either a piece of its stem or of its leaf. For example, if we plant a broken piece of the stem of a bryophyllum plant in the ground, we will get a new bryophyllum plant growing from its weak stem. Even when the leaf of the bryophyllum plant is there, that will also can produce into the new plant. Actually, the leaf of the bryophyllum plant, they have a special type of a bud at their margin. You can see here, this is the buds which is present at the margin or the edges of the leaves. And these buds, what happen, they may get detached from the leaf and fall to the ground, and then they grow to produce new bryophyllum plant. So they get detached and afterward they grow into a new bryophyllum plant, and we can see the new plantlet starts growing from it. And such a mature leaf of a bryophyllum plant which fall on the ground, and then each plantlet it can grow to that of the new plant. So the leaves of the plant can produce new plant, and the another plant is there. There are the different plants are also there students, but yes, bryophyllum, it consisting of the buds present at the edges, present at the margin, that will grow and develop into a new plant. So this is how it shows the process of a asexual reproduction also. Okay. So you can see here student, it is written that the bud which is produced by the notches along the leaf margin of bryophyllum fall on the soil and develop into new plant. These are the buds that I had really recently shown in the figure also. If you look at the money plant, it's a very common plant, an ornamental plant which you will found at every houses. So basically, if you see a money plant, how you used to plant a money plant, you simply cut the money plant from the stem, and you used to with the help of the stem only, we can grow it into a new plant, start growing into a starts developing or starts spreading. So select a money plant, cut some pieces such that they contain at least one leaf. Cut out some other portion between two leaves. Dip one end of all piece in water and observe over the next day which one grow and give rise to a fresh leaf. What can you conclude from the observation? See, here we will say that the money plant, we must cut the piece of the money plant in such a way that it contain at least one leaf on it, and the point on the stem where the leaf is attached, that is called as a node. So it must have a node in it. Now when we dip one end of the stem in water, after few days we will found that the new root appears at the point where the leaves were detached, and the piece of the stem will gradually grow into a new money plant. What will happen if we cut the stem of a money plant in between the two leaves? So when we cut the money plant in between to that of the two leaves, then it will not grow into a new plant, because there is no growing point. So if we are cutting it, we must cut it in such a way that it must have a node in it, it must have a growing point in it. So in the first case, see here it is written that when we cut some pieces such that they contain at least one leaf, that is the correct method of growing a new plant or from that of the money plant. It is because it is it consisting of a node in it, that is important. The growing point or node in it, that is important for the growth of the plant here. Okay, now let us try to understand here a thing, and that is tissue culture. Before we go and try to understand the grafting or layering, let us see what is a tissue culture. So in tissue culture, new plants are grown by removing tissue or separating cells from the growing tip of a plant. The cells are then placed in an artificial medium where they divide rapidly to form a small group of the cell or callus. Actually, what is a tissue culture? The production of a new plant from a small piece of a plant tissue removed from the growing tip of a plant in a suitable growth medium is called as a tissue culture. New plant, it is grown from very small piece of the plant tissue which is removed from that of the growing tip of the plant, that is called as a tissue culture or a cultural solution. And so here what we will do, we will take the new plants by removing the tissue, by separating the cell from the growing tip, and the cells are then placed in an artificial medium. Yes, we are providing the medium artificially to it. So artificial medium where they start dividing rapidly to form a small group of the cell, and this small group of the cell is called as callus. Then the callus is thus transferred to another medium containing hormone for growth and differentiation. Actually, it is then transferred to a jelly, and that consisting of a suitable plant hormone, and this plant hormone, it is important because it helps in stimulating the callus to develop roots. That's why the hormone is important. You know why hormones is important to us? Because that help in the growth of our body. Okay, it's a kind of a growth hormone. So callus is transferred to the medium which consisting of a hormone for the growth as well as for differentiation. The callus with developed root is then put into another jelly which consisting of a different hormone, and that will help in the development of shoot. So we must keep the callus in such a way that first of all we will going to transfer into a medium where the hormone is there, and that will help in the growth. And other time again we will going to move it, or we will keep it in such a way that will help in the differentiation. That is why it is written here that the callus is transferred to another medium containing hormone for growth and differentiation. Okay, so we must keep the callus in a medium that consisting of a hormone, which help in the growth as well as differentiation. Now the plantlet are then placed the when the plant when this the development occurs, student, now the it becomes what, when the callus is having the root and the shoot, it separates into a tiny plantlet. Obviously plantlet means what, which consisting of a shoot as well as the root in it, and in this way we can produce the tiny plantlet and just a few original plant cells or the tissue also. Now using this plantlet, it is placed into the soil so that they can grow into a mature plant, and using this tissue culture method we can make a plant a disease free plant, or we can remove all the conditions that can cause disease to the plant. So that's why this method is really good, although this technique is commonly used for the ornamental plants. So this is what, student, this is the tissue culture.